Live. Aloha, everybody. Aloha, Offline Sharks, remote marketing agency owners. How is everybody doing? I am by myself, flying solo for the moment. I do have a special guest in the green room. Highly doubt you know who I have because he has been behind the scenes just crushing it. But I'm excited to bring him out. Anyway, this is the 150th Aloha Friday Marketing Jam Session, which is that's out of control. I can't believe that we have done these things for, I don't know, coming up on 3 years, So every Friday, getting on these live shows with everybody and sharing what we got going on and, just celebrating the wins from everybody in this community. And it's been incredible. It's been an incredible journey. And I love doing these things. It's helped me so much. It's helped Tom so much, just connect with everybody here. So, today we're going to talk about number one, the 10 things that we've learned while building a remote marketing agency. And I'm going to get some feedback from our special guests, and I'm going to give you some of what I think to believe the most powerful things that we have learned while building a remote marketing agency. Like I said, for those of you that are just tuning in right now, Tom is not here. He's actually in Greenwich, Connecticut. Oddly enough, he's at a mastermind with Brian Kurtz and a few of his colleagues up there. So yeah, I mean, he's getting a lot of good information. I've already, chatted with him a number of times since he's been out there, shared a lot of really cool stuff with me, out there just furthering his knowledge in direct response marketing. So we're excited to bring some of that info back to you all. I mean, that's what this is all about, right? Growing our skill set, growing our knowledge, coming back, sharing it with you all. So I hope you are all excited for more of that. I'm going to cue the intro. We're going to do a little bit different than we normally do. I'm going to bring out our special guest, and we're just going to talk shop. Sound good, everybody? I see Dorn's here. What's up, Dorn? Patty, Enrique, aloha from Puerto Rico. Wow, that's awesome. Puerto Rico. I almost thought about moving there for a minute, and then I was like, I already live on an island. I'm not going to go live on 2 islands. So, stuck with Hawaii. Hey, Jacqueline. Bill Stanley, what's up, Bill? Dan Lesser. Man, we got the whole Remote Millionaires crew here. Hey, everybody. It's good to see you all here. All right, so let me cue this intro real quick. I'm doing all the stuff that Tom normally does, so bear with me. He's better at it.
It's now time, the moment you've been waiting for. Get ready for the fastest 60 minutes of marketing strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. After 167 agonizing hours, they've finally returned. From the sun-soaked Sin City and the sandy shores of Maui, Hawaii, now back for a brand new Aloha Marketing Jam session. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks and Remote Millionaires, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
We're back. Man, that intro is good. All right. So as I said, we have a special guest who was on our live training a couple days ago. I think 3 days ago. I did a webinar. I did a training about building a remote marketing agency. Give me a show of hands in the chat who was there. I see Bryce is here. What's up, Bryce? I was chatting with Bryce for about an hour yesterday in the afternoon. I hope you already got started on that action plan that I laid out for you. Good stuff. Yeah. Well, anyway, on that training, we talked about building a remote marketing agency. As a lot of you know, I got my RM shirt on, Remote Millionaires. That is our program where we show people how to build a remote marketing agency. Tom, myself, the rest of our team, we work directly with everybody to, take action and make sure that they are successful. And so for that reason, because we did the training a couple days ago, you can apply right now. If you want to be a remote millionaire, we're taking 25 more people right now during this promotion. And a few people have already joined, so that's great. And what I wanted to do, rather than just tell you all how awesome I think it is, was just to have somebody else who's a member and get their experience from them. There's a lot of people in that program doing really, really well, so it's difficult to pick who it would be. And I don't know. We just, this gentleman here, I actually had the chance to meet him in Seattle coming up on a month ago now. And it really stuck out to me, the traction that he's got, because, he really just stuck to the script. He didn't, go too far outside of the guardrails. He just followed the action plan, and he's had some tremendous results. So I'm going to bring out JT. JT,
Hey!
how are you, man? Shakas all around. Good to see you.
Me and my arthritis. Yeah, doing great.
Hey, that arthritis, I mean, you're crushing it with your business, man. That hasn't stopped you. You're doing some amazing things. So I appreciate you coming on here today and hanging out with me because, it's good that other people hear and see, your progress.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And I see you got your Aloha shirt on already, ready to go. Are you, you got your tickets booked for Hawaii? Is that what's going on?
Well, actually, December, we're going to actually go down and we're going to Maui. We're going to be enjoying it. We going to be there for a week.
Okay.
So in time for Christmas, we're going to kind of make this a habit now. It'll be our first vacation since I started the program.
Wow.
So I'm enjoying that.
Heck yeah. And, when we met in Seattle, you told me that your overarching vision was to retire and move to Hawaii, right?
Correct.
And in order to do that, you said you had to do one thing, which was
$14,500 residual income per month.
So if you got $14,500 residual, you were planning to move you and your wife to Hawaii to be my competitor. Is that right?
Well, in a certain off place, yes.
I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
okay, go ahead.
I view it as more brothers in arms,
There you go.
Yep, definitely. I have no problem with that at all. And so, I mean, you're almost there. Are you there?
I'm actually there. I'm
there.
actually $17,282.
Wow.
As of yesterday.
As of yesterday. Did you bring in a new client yesterday?
I did, and I just haven't announced it yet. But yeah, it was a HVAC. So
Wow.
It's going to be doing PPC on an HVAC using and I did it with the PPC labs, ad labs, and the Maverick. So
Nice.
Yeah.
You put those two things together, you got an HVAC client, and
yeah.
Yep. And so, are you going to be running the ads, or who's going to be doing that for you?
Oh no, I actually have a vendor that's actually going to be doing the ads for me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
how'd you find that person to actually run the ads for you? What was that? I mean,
actually, it's through a good friend of ours, David Sprague.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yep.
Very cool.
So,
And so, I guess the question everybody wants to know is, how long have you been a remote millionaire?
9 months, 2 weeks, and 4 days. But who's counting?
Yeah. Okay, so you've been an RM for 9 months. Man, time has flown by.
Yes, but it's been an awesome ride, and it really has.
Yeah, I agree. Because, I mean, right out of the gate, you came in and you had some tremendous success. Maybe you could share a little bit about your story with us in terms of like, what was your 9 to 5 previously? How many, what was your experience with the digital marketing? And did you have a client? I think you had one sale. I wouldn't even call that a client, right?
Right. It actually was just one sale, and it was a big struggle to even think about trying to fulfill that client. I was kind of in a panic, and that was one of the reasons why I actually stumbled across the online sharks. And kind of back it up, for the last 27 years, I've been an IT consultant, been running my own IT business. I have done everything from doing the line rats to doing rack and stack, network infrastructure, support modifications, everything from mom and pop small businesses all the way up to Fortune 500s and everything in between. So if it was computer related, I was involved with it. So that's kind of where I came from. The grand scheme is that I had a heart attack back in August. So congestive heart failure. So doc looked at me and says, you can't go up and down ladders anymore. So therefore, you're going to have to find a different means in which to produce a living. Well, you're trying to tell me, doc, that I got to go from, a nice cushy 2,000 a week-ish business to zero, and I got to start all over again? Now, come on, you got to be kidding me. No, you can't go up and down ladders anymore. So it's like, okay, there's my first panic mode. Then the next panic mode is, now what am I going to do? I'm back in, let's say, the beginning of the century, 2000. I was actually doing web and web development work, and I was dabbling in it. I'll be just honest with you. That's what I was doing. And I just kind of poked at it and thought, well, this is kind of a cool thing to do. And I got to use some creativity and managed to do a site or two. And to this day, they're still active, which
Nice.
kind of surprised me. But hey, that's kind of neat. And I had a friend of mine actually complain to me that she wanted to actually upgrade her site, but she didn't know who to talk to. And I said, oh, hey, I'll do it for you.
That was my exact experience too for my first website, by the way, except it was my boss.
Oh, yeah.
My boss at the car shop I worked at.
Yeah. And she said, yeah, I could do that for you. I'd be happy to do that for you. And so I did the initial concept for her and put everything together. She really loved it, but my problem is that when she transferred from the computer to a phone, the site wouldn't transfer to the right proportions. And it actually, when I showed it on my computer, it looked beautiful. On her computer, it looked like a piece of and, and I was like, oh, now what am I going to do? And I'm searching high and low, trying to figure this out. So I didn't want to lose her, because she was trying to give me more business. I was going to have the SEO and everything else to go with it. Yeah. So that's one of my first experience about outsourcing. And it was a guy from India. He just happened to email me because he got my information online because of my new business. And I had him tie in to do the work, and it actually worked out. So I was like, I managed to keep a client. Okay, now I got a client. Whoopee. Well, that was $1,000. I figured, hey, $1,000 is a good start. And lo and behold, I saw an advertisement about online sharks on Facebook, believe it or not. So I checked it out, and I got part of your AGM program. So that was the first program I got. And then I saw the coupon.
The mailer?
Yeah. And so I went ahead and started doing the coupon mailer. And my first mailer, I did $7,200 in outbound sales, and I managed to pocket $3,800. Well,
that mailer works. Everybody knows it works.
It works, and it really, really does work. And I thought, well, so I'm 2 for 2 because my AGM took off, and to right now I have just a little bit under 600 clients attached to my AGM. So
with the listings, you mean?
Yeah, with the listings.
Nice. Yeah. So you have a pool of customers that you're regularly you can speak to.
I can. Yeah, it took a little doing, and the way the AGM program works, how we could scrape and try to find new businesses, and I used the plant. Well, so then you made me offer I couldn't refuse. Let me make this perfectly clear.
Oh, you mean for remote millionaires?
Yeah, for remote millionaires. Yeah. And I was like, okay. Now I'm thinking about how much of this is going to be return on investment. Okay. I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I know I got to spend money in order to make money. Is this going to be worth it to me? And you made me a promise. If you remember this, you made me a promise that if I stayed and did what you told me to do with the program, that I could make my money back and then some. That was your promise to me. And I said, well, I promised to you that I would follow the program. That I wouldn't deviate, that I would go step by step by step, and I would follow the program. So, week 1, I went on vacation. Yeah, we had a beautiful vacation, came back. This is week 2. You're already saying, well, you should be already this, and done. And why aren't you done? And I'm kind of going, well, I did have vacation. He goes, and your excuse is, because I know you were joking, tongue in cheek, but it was kind of like, okay, great. So,
but that's the accountability element, right? Like
oh yeah, absolutely.
when we're out on our own, it's difficult to like stay focused and stay disciplined, which is one of the things that Tom and I have found, by one of the 10 things. Discipline, it can be something that you learn too. You don't have to have a lot of discipline from birth. You can learn how to be disciplined, which is something that we do in RM, right? We help show people how to be disciplined, and consistent is the way to go, is the way to phrase it. So so we check in, and anyway, back to your story. Checked in from your vacation.
Yeah, I checked in with after my vacation. You kind of had the tongue in cheek and going, okay, what are you doing, JT? I'm going, well, I'm in module 1 and I'm working my way down. You go, okay, let's talk about module 2 when we get to module 2. So we got to module 2. He says, oh, have you hired your VA yet? I'm going, no, not yet. And you're kind of going, well, come on. Why haven't you done it? Because, you got to do it right. And I'm going, no, okay, fine, I'll do it.
But was it helpful for you to have a plan of action rather than just to try to piece it together, like figure out what to do next? Was it helpful to just have it laid out for you like that?
Oh, yeah, it was a dream. It really was. It was great. Because when I got to module 2, and you specifically said that in order to increase your revenue stream and productivity to your existing business, you need to make sure that you automate it. That was the key there. That's what you said. Automation was the key. And the best way to automate is diverse yourself. So that's how I took it. And it's like, okay, that's what I have to do. That's what I'm going to have to do. And the very first thing is I got a VA, and you said, okay, what are you going to do with that VA? And I went, that's a good question. What am I going to do with her? You said, well, why don't you have her work on your AGM site and call the people on the AGM site? And I went, okay, we can do that. And I got my first sale from the AGM site, and you guys, both you and Tom, helped me put it together, script it all out, wrote all the contracts, you reviewed the contracts, you did everything that we needed to have done. I submitted the contract and everything was great. I'm going, woohoo, I got my first client, yay. Well, turned out it was a scam.
What? There's scams on the internet?
Yeah, go figure, right? I know. But yeah, there was a guy, and he was basically trying to trade. Well, I'll pay you $4,000, but you got to give $2,000 to my graphic artist. That's like, nope, can't do that. Sorry.
And we all get hit with that one from time to time, right? Like anybody had that spam, or it's a scam. It's like you get what you think is like the best lead. Somebody hits you up and goes, "Hey, do you do web design?" And you're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "I'm looking for a website, $5,000." You're like, wow, this sounds like a great lead. Yep. They're trying to get your credit card number.
$7,200. I asked him for half down.
Yep.
And then he said, yeah, sure, be happy to do it. He signed the contract. Everything was good. He's about ready to send me the money. I was trying to figure out how to figure that out. But see, the beauty of that, it's in your program. You tell me how to set that up. You told me how to do X, Y, and Z. All I had to do was follow the steps. I followed the program. I didn't deviate. Like I told you, I was not going to do. I was going to follow it step by step by step. That has brought me to the point right now where I'm 17,282 as of yesterday in residual. Now, this is residual income. This is not on top of everything else. That's residual. So that means I'm clearing just a hair over $10,000 after all expenses for the month when I finished the month today.
Nice. So you're at like a 65% profit margin.
Roughly 65%. Yes, okay. Correct.
Nice. Which is, I mean, that's solid. We're going to work on making that a little higher, but yeah, that's freaking solid. That's freaking solid. I want to, number 2 on my list of things is actually never letting failure go to your head. So that little scam that you ran into right out of the gate with that guy, what happened there? What happened next? Because, obviously a lot of us can get hit with that kind of thing and just feel like now we're stuck, So what happened to getting your next client? Like you actually got a client shortly thereafter. So what happened there?
Yeah, it was actually 3 days later.
Okay.
It literally was 3 days later. And
And was
I
that
think
through
the
the
fact that
email, through the emails you were doing that you
it
followed
was,
along
yeah,
with?
it was a
Okay.
carpet cleaner.
Okay. So can you talk about that a
So
little bit?
part of the program is you also have it built in there is how to actually market to other businesses or a business niche and how to do it right using Go High Level, which
Mhm.
is one of the programs that we have in Remote Millionaires. The
How to
beauty
have
of the
businesses
program,
come to you, right? Is that what
this
you're
is
talking about?
businesses comes to me, right?
Okay. How, and we show you how to set that up.
You do
Yeah.
step by step, which is awesome. I mean, short of you physically being there or me looking over your shoulder, I felt, that's exactly how you were directing me as far as the program is concerned. So it works out beautifully.
Yeah.
And the videos are really accurate and concise. And I really enjoyed that. And when I had any difficulties or any concerns, either I could talk to Kay or I could talk to Sela, or and I got the wonderful opportunity to talk to
So many names.
so many names. I'm sorry, but
No, it's all good. I'm not
I call
gonna.
it ARS. It's an age-related syndrome.
Yeah. No. It's all good.
Lori or Laura.
Laura, yeah, Laura's
Yeah,
amazing.
Laura.
And these are, by the way, these are all people that are part of. They make up the success team at Remote Millionaires, right? We got Celia and Kai, our concierges, which are JT's personal concierges, right? He comes into Remote Millionaires. He needs anything. He drops any question. Hey, I need a contract. Hey, I need a resource. And either they get it for him, and if they can't get it for him, they say, "Hey, Nick or Tom, do you have this for JT?" So we're, their role is to really just make it seamless. Like give him anything he needs to get to the 50K a month mark is what we're going for now.
That's our
Because
next goal. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, because that's what it is, right? Everybody, like Remote Millionaires, my agency right now does 50K per month, and I spend about 10% of my time in that agency. So what we're doing in Remote Millionaires is I'm showing people how to do that. I'm using all of the infrastructure and standard operating procedures that I have in that agency, and we're giving it to our Remote Millionaire members like JT. They're following along, and I'm helping them. Tom's helping them to execute. We have a success team that does, trainings too if they need it. They're optional, but it's really about the support infrastructure. For those of you that are at home right now and, you're like, what do I do next? I don't know how to get a client. I don't know how to reach out. I need some help. I need some critiquing. This is the type of environment that you probably should consider being in because there's a lot of guesswork. Let's just be honest, right, JT? There's a lot of guesswork. But when you have questions and you have direct access to us, what does that do for you?
Oh, hands down, it opens up the floodgates. It really does. Sela, she's golden. Kai, she's golden. I get an answer within 20 minutes to an hour at the most, and sometimes it's almost instantaneous, which is a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
And it could be just a simple, how do I do this? Or, something more complicated, like, did I fill this contract out right? Everything is beautiful because it's actually a benefit to have somebody besides myself trying to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done it. They've been there. They have that experience. They can answer those questions. And if worse comes to worse, I talk to you or I talk to Tom, which is even another bonus. And you can't say that with every other program. I mean, you're not always available. I understand that. But when I get an opportunity to speak to you, I know it's coming from your heart. I also know that it's coming from your experience. And if you can't do it, then you know somebody who can, and you point me in that direction, which you've had in the past. So it works out beautifully.
Nice. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. And that's good stuff. By the way, everybody, I'm just going to put this little banner at the bottom of the screen here because this is the replay for the webinar we did a few days ago. And you can open it up in a tab and you can pause it for later. Like we actually go over in depth what's in RM and what's included. And if you haven't watched that yet, you'll want to check it out. We give away a bunch of bonuses for being there too. And, right now we're taking applications. So, there's an opportunity there to, submit and apply and, there's nothing to buy. So if you want, if anything that we're saying sounds appealing, sounds interesting to you, you're probably going to want to go to that link, open another tab and apply when you get a chance. But anyway, JT, I want to circle back to that client, that first paying client that you got, or maybe even some of the numbers too, because I know who out here is doing like cold email, cold prospecting, because I know a lot of people are concerned about like how to do that or have questions like, how many emails should I send? I saw somebody says, how many in your contracting team, and how do you manage? Oh, that's a different question, which we'll circle back around to. By the way, if you have questions for JT, put them in the chat. We'll get to all of them. But can you speak to that exercise that we gave you of doing some outreach, how many outreach you did, how many schedules happened, how many clients came in?
I'll give an example. When I first started with the program, and I still do it today, but I actually have my VA doing it now instead of me doing it, which is another beautiful thing. But when I first started doing it, before I had the VA, I did 232 cold emails out.
Okay.
Of that, I got 8 responses. Of the 8 responses, I closed 3 accounts. So within my first 3 weeks, I did that consistently, which is about 200 per week. So within my first month, I actually had a total of 7 accounts. The 7 accounts generated me almost $4,000 clear.
Wait, we need to recap. How many emails did you send?
200 per week.
200 per week. That first week, did you get any schedules?
I got 3.
Okay, so
I got 8. No, sorry, I take that back. I got 8 schedules and 3 that I closed.
Okay, but those are some exceptional numbers. You sent 200 emails and you got 8 schedules.
232 my first week, yeah.
And then you got 8 schedules.
8 schedules, 8 replies.
And what were those emails that you were sending out?
It was your basic carpet cleaning email, your standard from the program.
Okay.
All I changed was my name, my email, and my phone number. That's all I changed on that email.
And then so you were getting schedules, you would get on the call, you were the person taking the call with them?
That's correct.
Okay. And then what did you sell them?
SEO.
SEO.
Yeah. So
did you know how to do SEO before you joined our?
Oh no. No. I knew not a thing about SEO. No. Yeah. In fact, I've actually had to learn SEO in order to even talk more intelligent than I was at the time.
Mm-hmm. But when you get an SEO client right now, what does that look like? How do you actually deliver on that if you don't know anything about SEO?
Well, the beauty of it is I send them a nice little kind of format that was done by you guys that explains SEO and kind of in a nutshell. And then I follow that up with, does that sound like something that you need?
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm kind of simplifying it, but I listen to the person's trying to find their true hot button in regards to what it is their pain really is. And then I try to address that pain. And then I basically say, well, I can solve that pain. It's not going to be, inexpensive, but it will be beneficial to your business overall. And I also address the fact that, this pain can be solved over time.
Mm-hmm.
But usually, SEO is not, sorry?
I was going to say, usually for the SEO, it's like the pain or what they're looking for is like, they just need to be found. They can't get found. That's the issue.
Right. That's majority of the time that they are either not placed in Google in the right placement. The people aren't, calling their sites or, staying consistent with them. They're not getting the follow-throughs that they are expecting or are anticipating. And overall, when you look at SEO, it's a major pain because they feel that they need to be in a certain position and they're not there.
Mm-hmm.
And so the nutshell is that I have an SEO team now in place. Thank you. And they actually, it cost me about $300 to do it, and I charge $1,500. So I'm pocketing $1,200 for every SEO client I can get, and I can't get enough of them because it's happening, which is a kind of a thing of beauty.
Yeah. SEO for us too. I mean, that's the highest profit margin in any of the services that we sell is SEO. And it's because, I've done SEO for a long time and we have it really systemized, which JT knows. you know, it's a standard operating procedure. Like to execute SEO, when you get a new SEO client, we have a template. Month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4. And that template I created, right? Like I did all that stuff myself for all my clients for a long time. And then I systemized it, put those templates together. And now I hired a project manager who is the one that actually follows the template for all of our clients. Do you have a project manager now, or do you call them something else? Or is it
No,
just
I'm actually the project manager.
You're okay. You're the project manager.
Yeah, that's my next step. That's the plan for next month.
Okay.
I 2 months ago, going on 2 months ago, I hired a sales team.
Mm-hmm.
And so
one person,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I have my appointment scheduler basically, and he's golden.
Mm-hmm.
He's still struggling a little bit to understand the program, but he's kind of coming together, and I've pushed him in 3 different directions since that was kind of my fault.
Mm-hmm.
So I was focusing on SEO, which he knew, but I wanted to get into what we call retargeting because of the traffic fuel and
Mm-hmm.
trying to get that. And then the PPC program came along, and I was trying to push that. And so
Mm-hmm.
I kind of gave him too many irons in the fire, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out that it's better if we just went back to the old bread and butter and pick one and stay with it. So
Mm-hmm.
currently right now we're working on PPC, and we've got some good leads out there. I got one client that I want to talk to you about in regards to that. He's making $14,000 a week.
Wow.
In expense for PPC. And
wait,
so
he's spending that much in ad
he is
spend,
spending that much.
Okay, that's his ad spend, $14K
That
per month,
is his
per
ad
week,
spend
per week.
per week.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to bring him on board. He's a HVAC mechanical commercial business that does mechanical work
Mm-hmm.
for commercial side of things. And he's got a fleet of 7 trucks and 9 guys, and he wants to do more. So,
Mm-hmm.
so that's one of the things that's the program Remote Millionaires allows me to be able to do. I wouldn't have been able to do it if I wasn't involved in the program.
Mm-hmm.
So
and so you've already chatted with this guy. You had an initial meeting, and where did it leave off?
I told him that I would put a program together for him that can attack his, because he's currently right now, his biggest pain is that he's got 5 different hats, 5 different people that are giving him different opinions, if you will. And he just wants to go with one person to do all the things that they're doing. Mm-hmm. So he wants one for SEO. He wants one person to do his PPCs. He wants one person to manage his blogs. He wants one person to do it all, basically. And right now he's got 5 individuals that are giving him their peace of mind, and some of it's quite confusing to him, and some of it is just, he's just kind of wants to go, okay, I give up. Yeah. So that's where he's at. And so my point of attack to him was just basically say, hey, you don't need to do that. You can go to one house. One house can do it all for you. Mm-hmm. But you need to find the house that can. I'm that house. Mm-hmm. And I was honest with them, and I think that was the key, is that I told him, if there's something I don't know, I have a multi-million-dollar company behind me that's been doing this for more time than I can count. Mm-hmm. That has the means and capabilities of doing anything that you need to have done. Mm-hmm. And that blew him away, because he says, really? I went, yeah. And
I recognize that
Remote Millionaires program.
Yeah, I recognize that authority hijacking script there from somewhere.
No.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And have you used that before, that script?
I use it all the time.
Yeah. It's powerful, like.
Oh, it's gold.
Especially
it's truly gold.
If you're on this call and you're a brand new person, you don't have any profile, you don't have any credibility. Like, imagine being able to say something like that when you're talking to somebody. You can say, like, I'm part of a coaching program where I have access to a multi-million-dollar company that is helping me to execute on all our projects that we're going to do for you. Like, that's a pretty powerful thing, And you are, though. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that, right? You're taking our playbook and you're going to be executing exactly how we would for them. And then Tom, myself, the rest of your team is going to help hold you accountable, answer all your questions in real time, and help you do everything that you can do to be successful for them. And so that's why someone can come in, someone like JT, with $1,000 sale. That's like the first sale he did, and then come in and get to I like hearing the revenue number. What are you at again?
17,282, baby.
$17,282 per month right now.
Yeah.
Incredible. Awesome stuff. And so, I have a couple of pretty solid HVAC clients that we work with. Like, I'm pretty sure if you look up Maui AC, Maui air conditioning, Maui or AC Maui. So Certified Air is one of our clients. And they actually, so we got them to number one for Maui, like Maui HVAC and stuff like that. And they're one of those clients that, like, when they get to number one, they're like, well, do we still have to pay you? We're already at where we want to be at. And I'm like, sometimes you just got to let them go because, there's no change in their mind. But, the thing is I'm looking them up right now and they've trickled down. I don't see them there anymore. So now for me, I'm going to run some sort of a reactivation campaign. I'm going to send Joe an email and say, hey, Joe, I noticed you guys have dropped ranking since you stopped. I think you should pick it back up if you want to keep number one. And this HVAC company in particular, when they signed up with us, they, and maybe you can use this story for some of your credibility, JT, with these guys. They had one truck. And now they had one truck in a small little hole in the wall office. We were with them for 3 upgrades to their actual office place. Like, I came into their place of business a couple times for follow-ups because they had questions about how to set up their email and stuff. And I just needed to go there and show them how to do it, I guess. And I don't really go to businesses very often. Like, I mean, that's probably the last time I did that, like doing some sort of a house call. And it's just because they were a great client. But every time I went, I had to go to a new place. They had a bigger place, a bigger and bigger place. Yeah, with more people. And you know what's cool about doing that? And you can relate to this, I'm sure, is like being a part of that. Like you go there and they're like, hey, yeah, thanks to you, we have a bigger place. And you're like, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, my first client, besides the one that was a friend of mine, my very first client was part of the Go High Level program campaign that I set out for carpet cleaners. And I picked up a carpet cleaner, and it's classic carpet cleaning, and he was basically a one-man show, and he wanted to start hiring bodies. And I told him, I said, give me 90 days. If in 90 days I can't increase your truck, then we can call it quits. And I gave it my best shot. Well, 90 days came and went, and he is still with me, and it's been 9 months now. So that says right then I must have been doing something right. Well, I owe it all to the program.
And so here, I'm going to shed some light on that because I'm glad you said that, JT, because I'm going to share my screen real quick. Can everybody see? Can you see my screen? Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
So this is one of the things that I share with people, like when we get on a Zoom call. Not letting me zoom in. Like being able to control your lead source, like JT is talking about, is such a powerful thing. Who here right now feels like they have no control over how many businesses are scheduling calls in their calendar, or how many businesses are actually coming in? Who feels like that? Because you don't feel like that if you have full control of your lead source. And there are a number of ways to do it. This is a paid way, a paid method that we give to our remote millionaires. And this is something that JT literally copied to the T. He didn't even pick a different niche. He stole the same niche that I had, which is fine. I'm okay with that. There's plenty to go around. But so
the only thing I did is I changed the picture. That's all I did. Well, my name and my phone number and my email, but that's it. That's all I changed.
That's funny. Fair enough. I like there's some training that goes with this that helps you identify a type of business and industry that you want to go after. But let me break this down for you, just because JT just mentioned it. So anyone run Facebook ads before? Have you run a Facebook ad before you did this? Was this the first one you ever run? Okay.
No, that was the first one. Yeah.
Okay. So what we have, I basically give our remote millionaires our step-by-step funnel to set up this paid ad campaign, which brings in schedules. You bring in leads that are scheduling in your calendar that say, hey, I want to get on a call and figure out how you can help me with my marketing, which is an absolute game changer. And so this particular campaign, I had to turn it off when we were running it because we just got so many leads that my one salesperson couldn't even deal with it. We had way too many to deal with.
Oh, that's such a terrible thing to have.
Yeah, I know, it's horrible. So you can see at the bottom here, it says 560 opt-ins right into this funnel. 560 people opted into it. We spent about $10.56 per lead. I know this thing is annoying. You can see it at the bottom there in the red box. And then we spent a total of $5,915, which sounds like a lot of money. Sounds like a lot of money, but let me show you what happened. So as a result of those 560 opt-ins, we got 5 new Google AdWords clients, which pay $1,500 a month. And then we got one of those people that bought the Google AdWords paid for a custom website, which was $3,500. And so in all, in month 1, from those 560 opt-ins, we brought in $11,000 in cash collected in month 1. Not to mention the residual that's coming in. And as a bonus, we had 555 leads that are going through our automations, like JT said at the beginning of this call, that are going through the email sequences that are trying to get them to see that we have more value, that they can schedule with us, that we should talk about their marketing. So all of you here, I have that question for you. If I could just give you this system, this funnel, these ads, like I did to JT, what would that do for your business? How would that change the game for you? I mean, JT, how many clients have you gotten from this funnel?
Current right now, I'm at 13.
13. I was expecting a much lower number, if I'm being real. 13.
13.
So
yeah.
You're actually at a place, because I know this for me. You're actually at a place where you have to build in more infrastructure. You have to hire. You're about ready to hire more people to help you with your clients, because you're gonna break your system. Is that right? Have you
Correct.
experienced any of that right now?
My growing pains, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need one more appointment setter or one actual project manager instead of me trying to do it all. That's what I'm going to do for next month. That's what I planned on doing starting in October.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so like I know this to be true, everybody. Like I always say, right? My agency does around 50,000 a month, and that's the range where I can hover at and be all right with spending only 10% of my time. My agency can go to millions of dollars. JT's probably going to take his there. But for me to do that, I would have to invest more than 10% of my time. So I'm okay with 50K a month in my agency. I'm fine with that because it's very high cash flow with very low amount of my attention. But when I keep these ads going at full blast, I'm going to have to hire more people, which is a good problem to have. But for me personally, I've made the choice to, do other things where I have much higher leverage. Like right now, I'm remodeling this house that I'm in. I just bought this house in Washington. JT, I didn't even have this house when I met you. I said, I'm going to go down there. I'm going to buy a house.
Yeah, that's what you told me.
And here it is. I'm in it and I'm remodeling it. And my agency's running and I'm working with remote millionaires. Like that's what I do, And so having the choice to do all those things is really what it's all about when you build a lifestyle business, is what we call it. And let's see, I'm going to pull my screen down real quick. Do you all have any questions for JT or I? Somebody said, Nick, what conversions did you get from the 550 leads in month 2, 3, 4? I'm not sure. I mean, like we still get people coming in from that campaign that are just in automations, right? We have I think it's 30 days of automations. We still have people coming in from that. And I couldn't tell you because I'm not really involved that much, if I'm just being real. Jacqueline, JT, this question's for you. Can I ask JT if he sent 200 emails right from the word go? I thought email addresses need to be warmed up before you can do that.
Well, I took my original Google email that I have already had for the 27 years, and I just applied it to my agency. I just went out and bought an LLC, dropped it in, used the same email, so it's already been warmed. So I was able to do that from the get go. I found out that I got my email kind of suspended because I actually sent out too many emails to start with. I found out that they really prefer to have 100 emails per day,
Hmm.
or not per day, per week, going outbound. Otherwise, they consider it spam. And so I found out also in the process that my emails were going to spam, but
Mhm.
that was because of how I had my hook at the very beginning. And I changed my hook and changed the verbiage of what was in the email, and it quit going to spam. So I sent the email to myself to see how it would be treated. And then I opened up two other Google accounts that I used for my outbound traffic, and I was able to warm those up as per se. Um, but yeah, it was a learning curve, and I had to do that. But now I can do 200 emails a day without any issues.
Nice. Nice. That's good stuff. And by the way, someone was asking about this. If you go to the link that you see on your screen, offlinesharks.com/remote agency model, this is the webinar replay from last week where we talk about remote millionaires, but you'll see a button there at the bottom. If you haven't seen the webinar, or if you're short on time, you can hit that book button there and you can get on the phone with someone on our team who is not trying to sell you something. They're just seeing where you're at with you and your business and if it's a good fit to join Remote Millionaire. So if you're interested in going through the same process that JT did, where he had one sale and now he's at, what was the number?
17,000.
$17,000 in monthly
282.
residual. Then go to that page that you see, hit the button, book a strategy session. I'm going to be taking some calls later today too. I'm going to need about an hour after this, but I'm going to be taking some calls. So maybe you might even get on the phone with me, which would be cool. Let's see. Sandy says, so you're using Gmail email. Is it a name or do you have the email as a company name?
I have it as a company name.
Mm-hmm.
So Gmail allows you to actually convert your domain into Gmail to allow you to actually have a company name, but it's through Gmail. It's through their central marketing. It sets it up as a business. You can do advertisements as well as email and things through Gmail. So I've go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, like, the actual tool, like, it matters a little bit. What really matters is what you're sending. All the tools are gonna send stuff. We use High Level to send the emails. Which uses Mailgun. It's connected to Mailgun. So really, what you're using is Mailgun. But if you, like, to your point about getting on the naughty list with your first email, it was really about what you sent, right? It was really about what you sent. Yeah. So I encourage people, Sandy, try not to get too caught up in the details of actually where the email is coming from and what tools and all this stuff. Like, just pick one, pick any one, but write good emails. That's really the secret behind all of it.
So all I had to do was tell Google that the emails going out were for business purposes to businesses advertising my services through Google. And they went, okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it took like 4 days for them to get back to me, and I kept refreshing and refreshing and refreshing because I was still suspended. But on the fifth day, it was like, oh, I heard the angels choir in the background going, hallelujah. I'm back in business.
Oh, let's see. I haven't gone through my full list. Like, I apologize, everybody. I got so intrigued by JT's story and everything that he, just seeing it come full circle and, like, hearing him share that, like, it's such a powerful thing for me to know that, like, he came in and had this experience. I kind of shied away from the topic of this live stream, which was, the 10 things that, I think are essential for having a remote agency. But I mean, you said a lot of them. you're professional in what you do. You know, you didn't let failure go to your head. You're disciplined. You know, you're not afraid to do the difficult things. You've hired a team, which is amazing. Actually, this is something I can ask you. What is your day-to-day? What do you do on the day-to-day really? Like, you wake up in the morning. I mean, you left your job, right?
Oh yeah, I'm semi-retired now.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I did quit my normal IT job. I have one client that I still maintain, but
Okay.
you know, I've been with them since the very beginning of my career with them. So been with them for 23 years of the 26. So I
How'd
think
that
I'll probably
feel?
stay with.
How'd that
Oh,
feel?
it's wonderful. It's great. It's it it is a total release of stress, anxiety, and worry.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really describe it other than it's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
My wife has been a part-time legal secretary, and she just found out 2 months ago that her boss is hanging up the shingle, if you will. So she's started to put her resume together, and then I'm going, "What are you doing?" I'm going to put my resume together. I'm going, "Honey, you don't need to do that." But we can't afford it until I showed her my bank account. Oh, that surprised her. Oh boy, did that surprise her. She goes, "Huh?" I'm going, I don't think you need to worry about work anymore.
Man,
That is
congrats.
such a wonderful feeling.
Yeah, that's
But
amazing, man.
my typical day, I get up at between 6 and 6:30.
You just wake up every day and do RM? Is that all you do?
Well, surprisingly, I spend probably about 3 to 4 hours a day working on my business. I spend another 2 hours on top of that looking over different ideas of how to promote my business to make sure that I can do a good response to customers' questions and not sound like an idiot. um, but the majority of the time, I delegate what needs to be done to my VA who's in the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
and she does what needs to be done. And then the following morning, I wake up and she's already done what I've asked her to do, and we go to the next step, or we do what we need to do. And then same way with my appointment center.
Mm-hmm.
So um, my my aspect of it is basically overseeing right now and making sure that the programs are coming together and answering. I'm the face of the company, so I make sure that when a client has a question, I don't have my VA answer. I answer myself. But that's where we're at right now.
Nice. Nice. Which is a very nice contrast in terms of, because I know when you said you did like IT stuff, I mean, you told me that you were doing a lot of the actual running lines and setup, not so much the
Oh yeah,
software
I was
side.
the
I mean,
physical side of my business.
yeah.
Absolutely, I didn't
Hmm.
hire somebody. I was it.
Yeah.
I mean, I in the 26 years that I have been when I was in business, 26 years, I estimated that I've done 4,800 miles of cabling.
Yeah. You were running a lot of wires.
I was putting in 15 to 1,800 miles a week on my
Wow.
car. Um, and I would
Just
go
driving around.
through a new car about every year and a half to 2 years. It was crazy. But, you know, I was making $285,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the income that I have to replace. And that's where we're at right now. Basically, we're real close to pushing that.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I don't have the overhead that I had before,
Yeah.
which I can live with what I have right now because I don't have that overhead.
Yeah.
You know, so at 285, my overhead was at close to 200,000 of that.
Mm.
So, you know, it wasn't as profitable as this is.
Yeah.
Not
Well, and
not
it's
by any stretch.
and I'd make the argument. I mean, it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. You're at home right now, hanging out, in your Aloha shirt hanging out, right?
Right. I'm actually barefoot. I'm really barefoot. If I could flip the camera around, I'd say, I'm sitting in my recliner, just kicking back and relaxing. I'm wearing shorts. I got my Aloha shirt. I'm kicking back.
I love it.
And
man.
after this, I'm going to take my hun out. We're going to go have a nice lunch, and then maybe go walk at the marina and figure that what we're going to do this evening. Maybe go out for dinner tonight, or go see a show, or I don't know. It's just kind of fun, just to kind of figure out what we're going to do. I mean, we've actually started putting our heads together to figure out where our next vacation is going to be. We're going to be taking a cruise. We're probably going from here to Alaska is kind of our direction that we're going in.
Wow.
I wouldn't have been able to do that with my other business. There would be no way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, man, I'm so just proud to see all the traction you've made and the discipline you've had, the commitment you've made, and just seeing your growth and progress through this entire thing. It's been pretty amazing, and I hope we get to connect again when you come to Maui. I'll be there in December, so
nice.
We should definitely. And yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on the live stream with us today. I have one more thing I'm going to do. I'm going to do the Cash App giveaway. I'm going to do some Cash App money. I'm not going to be able to go through all the shout outs because we're at the top of the hour. But those of you that are true OG sharks and veterans know that there's a post that went live in the Facebook group at the beginning of the stream or sometime during this stream. And some of you went to that post and congratulated them. And so we're going to be picking a couple of you at random and giving you some Cash App money right now for wishing a congratulations to those shout out members of our community. So with that,
here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
oh, I almost went for the double. All right. So I want to just say thank you all to everybody that did go to that post, the shout out post where, we celebrate the wins of everybody in our community the week before. And we picked two people at random, two of my favorite people in this community. We got Patty Rakowski and Doug Page. You are our winners. So we're going to be sending you some Cash App money.
Awesome.
And yeah, so anyway, JT, I really appreciate you being here. If everybody that's on the stream right now, if you could give JT a comment and thank him for being here and sharing his experience with us. And if you have any questions, maybe you can leave them there. I'm sure he'd be happy to chime in. And,
absolutely. Thanks for having me, Nick. Thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We'll have to do it again.
I have one parting word.
Okay.
If you believe it, you can do it. Don't let anybody stop you from doing it.
Yeah, I agree. And for me, it's usually my own self. I have to get out of my own way, So we'll leave it with that. Thanks again, JT. Appreciate everybody being here. Take care.
Mahalo.
You've been watching the Aloha Marketing Jam Session, your weekly marketing live show, always bringing you the latest strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with the Remote Millionaires Podcast at remotemillionaires.com/podcast and Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube. We'll be back here next Friday for another live show. Until then, aloha.